In the bottom of page Kuvov. So we started discussing about the difference in the Etzem and the Shama and the Haaretz and the Shama. That is the slapshus, the Etzem and the Shama is not in a way the slapshus begroup. The Etzem and the Shama is not actually included, invested in the body. Only the gil, the how mitzvahs and the Shama. So it's like four lines, 5 lines from the bottom. Just through the connection of the connection, because the neshama is melubash in the guf, then the etzem neshama is also connected. But it's not a way of slapshus. So it brings the famous thing in Kisra Arizal that's quoted in cities and other places. Mashelio loyer ba'ido. There's established beguf b'dei la'atzel b'imnun ha'saba v'chaveirov that Leo couldn't come to the Ida because he had to be in. They have to save Imnun ha'saba v'chaveirov. So the question is, what about every Seder? Leo's all over the world. Every bris. So why is that different? And the answer is that because it needs to be beguf, it's can only be in one place, because the etzem and the shama can only be connected to one guf. Aval masha ba b'slapshus beguf. So what is b'slapshus beguf? The etzem and the shama is l'mayla. What masha ba b'slapshus beguf? Orat ha'oras and the shama. Okay, so we just said one point. Made a difference in etzem and the shama and ha'oras and the shama. One is invested in the guf, one is not. בעניין הוא הרקסיב, interessant, הנה כסיב, הרקסיב, נעשה עוד מצלנן כדמוסיין, the Abish created the neshama like בדוגמה של מייל, something can say, שהנשמה היא כצלם של מייל. The way the neshama operates is similar to the way there is in Elikus. אלא מייל, מה שסבש באילם, זה רק העולבת. Get to the Gilum Shalom, the Ur Shalom Island, and Sabbath numbers, only get the Olavat. The Kalpis Malakal. Usually we talk about the Olavat, that's a particular Malakal Almin, Shua, above the Sim to Middle Gold, that is the godly light that reaches the elements through a Tzimtzum, Middle Gold, is measured, is limited, contained. So, mindfulness, and ain't of the stars the levels. So that's the way the Hamshachim and Ma'ila, because the neshama is itself makes it say no kamoikin. The neshama kamkein, the neshama also has two parts. There's a part which is established by elements, and this part which is above it. Kamaim, that's more in the part in the but we say every morning the neshama should start with Torah at the boss at the tzat at the fachta. But also, kamoikin neshama because bri in the yesh, the level of the neshama that reaches the body in a way of slapshus, that's ataboros, that's real. Yes, it's mitzvahs. Over part is madrigas and the shama, then there's the 3 levels. Boss, it's out in the fachta. What is the part is? Boss, if my shama got it nail and then real. Boss is the first stage. The shama is the highest level of the shama. When the shama is in the Ganeden Ellen, real, can do it. Malcolm the shama is guided shbar beguf Ganeden, like it says in this photo, that in the Neshama, before it reaches, before it descends into the body, it's Lamaila and Ganei. Itzarto, Balamaytzir. Itzarto is the way the Neshama is Nelamaytzir. But in the fact to be, that's the Nelamasir. Vayipar Bafanish Maschayim. That's the actual creation of man on this world. This is the 3 Madrigas of what's out in the Factor, Yitzir Asir. Beslolos, I don't know what Beslolos means, but generally speaking, Boros, it's out in the fact that something is Narancham and the Shamash, Slapshus. So these 3 Madrigas, Yitzir Asir, they're also the Madrig of Nefesh Roch Neshama, which is these 3 Madrigas of Neshama, Nefesh Roch Neshama, are Melubash in the body. Tahira, what is Tahira? Tahira is Koidem Shabbat. Was Koid is the Madrig of Neshama, but before it, it's in a state of Bria. זה מה שהנשמה היא מבחינת עין, לא מבחינת יש, כלל. היא למעלה מסלאפשס. So Bria is yesh. Bria means creating something tangible. מה שאין כאן נשמה, מה שאין כאן טהרה is above it. So that's, we just said before, that was talking about that it's Bri Yitzir Asir. Mashenk and Tehira, that's why the Neshama is Natzilus. The Atzilus Nichasel Gabi Biyah. Generally speaking, relative to Biyah, the Likus Beitzim Biyah is Memala, and then Beitzim Natzilus is Seviv, relative to Biyah. So the same thing, the Neshama, it's similar to Madrig of Seviv. All neshama yesh lo that sheresh b'atzilus. Neshama b'chnas ha'mavs. Each neshama has its source in atzilus, and in the level of all of atzilus, it's not in the way of yesh. Neshama is a state of ayin, total nothingness, which means total bit. Omnom. Now it is the other way. Now we have to know how it affects us. Omnom in neshama is the atzilus ganka mislapshim begufim. Neshama is the atzilus. You cannot say that Tahira is that Madriga we said earlier, the Etzim and Neshama She'ena Mislabet, because Neshama Datzilus Gantam Mislabet. We find some Neshamas Datzilus that are invested in the body. Kumay Ova is Meishe, like Ova is Meishe B'chein Kol HaRevim. Showing Neshamas Datzilus Namash Lamata, Voyam Lo Boshim Beguf. So what's the difference? He says the difference is move on the slapshot and Neshama Datzilus. Einig Mislapshot Neshamas Biyad. The Einig Mislapshot Begeshem, Kumash Kozam Kamacha, Mekom Mislapshot Beguf. So Neshamas Datzilus have this unique quality. They can be somewhere without being affected by the environment. Einig Mislapshot Beguf. They're there. I'm sorry, Mislapshot Einig Mitfosim. Mislapshot Beguf, the Neshama is in the body, but it's not. It's not captured, it's not affected by the body. So that's talking about the Shama special, the Shama Datzilus, which is, like I said, Moshe and Ova, it's rested in the being. But then he says, the truth is, this is not just something that affects the few unique people. The truth is, each individual Jew, it has a part of it which is neshama datzilus. What does it say? Sharei. Kol echad v'echad yichalem. Each individual, it has says in Tan Velio, it says in Medrash, in Chazal, that each can say, so everybody can reach this state of the Madriga of Avamitzah Yaakov. If you wouldn't have the Neshama Datzilus, how can you reach Avamitzah Yaakov? You must say that every Neshama, every Yid has within his Neshama a part that's from Atzilus. What's made myself? It says, the list Merkava Shazer Avodah Neshama Datzilus Moshkos Avamitzah Shalveni Perek. So in the tiny Perek he explains how the avodah of Merkava of the Avos, that's the avodah of the Shamas Datzilus. And since every Yid can say Ma'aseh Yom Ma'aseh Avosai Avamitzah Yaakov, we must say that everyone has that part, that ability to have to express as Neshama Datzilus. But what does it mean? Every Yid has this bittul of Mad Chachma that's explained in Tanya Perek Ches. It says that he has this bittul. That's why it says over there. That's why every Yid has the power of Sils Nefesh. So everybody has that. The Neshama Datzilus Moshe Kosov, and there's Maruma. That's Indian. That everybody has the Ma. Maruma is in the pasuk. Ba'at is a Ma. Va'el kachasher me'imoch. In this Mashe b'chol. Moshe Kosov Machmach. Maruma is in this pasuk. But so Mala the Eibishter asks you to reveal the Ma, which is the Ma Shebachach the bit, the eye. Who Pchinas HaTeikef. Okay, in like I said, in Tanya, it says that there's any of Mesilas Nefesh. Even Kal Shebekarim is Mesilas Nefesh. But here it says even not even Mesilas Nefesh. Pchinas HaTeikef She'eri B'Neshama B'Kim V'Tratzna Eli. The strength that every Neshama has to to be devoted and dedicated to Ratzon Elyon, Lamed Neged Kol Minea, and stand strong against everybody who prevents us from becoming Ratzon Elyon. Not only that, it's a bittul danachas atzmus. It's a level of bittul, which is danachas atzmus. He puts his entire ego aside. Ein Meshikosim is a b'diramasa pada b'shalom nafshta shen ches, which means we learned it a few moments ago in the Mayim pada b'shalom. Over there, he spoke about how the inyan of anachas atzmus. Okay, so that is the madrega of tahiri. So the madrega. So okay, so what do we see from all this? That the madrega of tahiri is also connected to the neshama. It's not like naran. Naran is mislapshus. Madrega of tahira is it's a higher level. It's expressed in the take of an neshama and anachas atzmus. But the truth is, he says, etzem neshama sh'lamayim mislapshus l'mayim is that. Then there's a third level. It takes us to a third level. In addition to this two major split between Tehillah and Barasa Yitzhak and Nefafto, there is even a higher level, which is called the Etzem Neshama. Etzem Neshama is even above Tehillah, even above that state of Ayin. We just said before, there's the Yesh and the Ayin, but Etzem Neshama is even above the Ayin. What's meant to say? In order to get there, he goes into a long page-long discussion to explain what is the etzem and the shama, which is above Tahir. First, it goes back Lamayla. Just said earlier when he explained the difference between Tahir and Basitat Nefachtas, he said, but some many things were saying it's similar to Lamayla. Just like Lamayla, there's Sev Mamal Kalam and Sev Kalam. Same thing in the Shama, there is the Matayg of Tahir and the other Matayg is below. Now he said it's time to explain the etzem and the shama, which is above the. So for that he also brings the dogma of Shalamayla. Even in Lamayla, suppose we understand the way it operates, the way it works. Lamayla in the madrigas likus. In the Abriya Yeshma, saying the Bria is called Yeshma. That's how we relate to creation, something from nothing. We spoke a few times about it. That the expression Yesh Ma'ayin, we find that there's the famous Ramban in the beginning of Chumash, Bereishis, Beriya, Yesh Ma'ayin. But a few moments ago, we also had a quotation from Sefer Yitzir. Osa me'eina yeshne. The Rebbe that from nothing made something. So the creation is called Yesh Ma'ayin. So the famous question is, in the movement, we have to understand how can we say that the world is created from Ayin? Everything comes from the Eibishter. The Eibishter is not Ayin. Ma'ayin yesh me'ayin. The Eibishter is the ultimate being. So how can we say everything is yesh me'ayin? Forget. We are created from the ultimate yesh. So why is it called yesh me'ayin? So what I just explained it. The creation of our reality is not from the essence directly, not from Atzvus directly, but it's to the oil, to the light, which is the expression. Which starts with Iyu Gam Chayer Chadiv Gam Moichad. So the lashon over there is Iyu Gam Moichad. What is Iyu? Human is Gamoy. So again, a Gamoy, the way he explains in the Gas HaKadosh means the Kalim. But he says, what does Iyu mean? Iyu Gam Moichad. Livro Bem Agadam Ayin Liyesh. That's the lashon in the Gas HaKadosh. He explains in the Gas HaKadosh the Iyu. What's Iyu? What's him? He and his Gamoy. The English translation is causation. Cause. But that's usually the English translation. It means really it is tool. If you say it's tools, Kalim. So what does it mean? Him and his tools are one, which means Levi Yadvish minds. That's the lashon the Gas HaKadosh. Iyu is the Mislabish became that seals. Iyu means the oil, the oil himself. But Galmoi in Gas HaKadosh. Galmoi, like I said, the tools, that's the kingdom of Atzilus. What does it say? What is the meaning of the last means they establish in the way creation works is it's from the oil, it's an expression of the oil and so, but through to the tools which are the kingdom. What and explains in the God's why is they established to the oil because the oil is directly connected to its source, the etzem of the Eibush himself. So that's why the oil has this capacity to create. Kamoi, what oil? We use the word oil when they get to the Milo. It's just obviously it's only a figure of speech. There's no light. It's not the physical light, but it's figure of speech because it resembles the concept of light in our physical world. Similar to the light and the ray of the sun in our world. The oil, the light is all constantly connected to its source, to the more, the luminary, the body of the sun. What's the proof? When the sun sets below the horizon, the light is not there anymore. Because in order for the light to exist, it needs to be constantly connected to the sun. When the sun is not there, there's no light. That's so the interesting. It means two proofs. Number one, Shemesh Shekei, and number two, that's another proof. Let me. I don't know why we usually say about the clouds. When there's clouds separate between the sun and the atmosphere, the light disappears. There's no light. Okay, so that proves it's not just proves that it means the definition of oil, the definition of the meaning of oil. Light means something that's directly connected to its source. So to have a better understanding, we contrast it with something which is not dovuk. What is an example of something that's not dovuk? The fruits that grow from what's called koy hatzemeach, second. The koy hatzemeach means the strength, the koy shalamayla, the koy hashabadama that makes the world the fruits and vegetables grow. So how does that work? He says, "Shapri ba'chayis, shabodai natam udal b'fnei atzmi nivda mekach hatzemeach." The koyach hatzemeach creates the fruit, including not just the physical, the material part of the fruit, also the more spiritual, the highest, the life force, which he calls as the tam, the taste. All this is created from the koyach hatzemeach, but in such a way that it's separated. A davar nivdal, it's not constantly connected, it's separate. So this contrast crystallizes the uniqueness of the oil. Unlike other, some more Chassidus of all arichas, oil and shefa. Here he's saying that to understand that oil is connected, we see it from the fact the difference in that in koyach hatzemeach. When we cut the fruit off, the fruit is still there and it still has taste, but it's not connected. Shanking the oil, it's not that way. Lachain, so because the oil has this unique quality that it's constantly connected to its source, that's why the oil also has this ability to express directly the moil, the etzem, the source. The mipnei shemesh behir lachain oil meir. In other words, the oil, which is the expression of the shemesh, contains only the quality of the shemesh. Because the shemesh is bright, that's why the oil is bright. Lo Yitzuya, the shemesh would have a different color, or different qualities. The oil will be exactly the same thing. The oil expresses the shemesh as is. The shemesh behir, the sun is bright, so the light is also bright. So all this is a mush. So we have the mushal, the difference. Shemesh the nimshal, and the topic we talk about is the Eir and Sof Shalom Ma'ila, but so just like we see in the Eir, in the Gash, Eir Shemesh, and it's double, it's Me'ina Mo'ir, Kamat Ma'ila, so we understand also, when we talk about the Ma'ila, we speak about the Eir Shalom Ma'ila, the Eir double bats, the Eir Shalom Ma'ila has this unique quality that it's constantly double, it's connected, there's a direct connection to its source, the Atzmus. Because it's dog Atzmus mainly expresses a likus directly. Lachein the chote lahavois v'livoy es anivoy. That is why the oil has that. That was like we said before. The oil has the ability to create independent beings, nivoim, because it's connected to the mor. Omnam ikaratam. That's interesting. It says ikaratam because that needs more elaboration. So just at this point, we'll just read what he says here. On the ikaratam asher dafkam ava. Now he says, why do we see taka that the Isavas is dafkan oil not in the kelim? Shagam a kelim that's it. Shagam she'enim fnes veitzim kayim. Agam lekus mamash kmush kosim akamach. Her kelim are also a lekus mamash. So why is the power dafkan oil not in kelim? So last time we learned, I tried to explain a little bit kids. What does it mean? The kelim is a lekus mamash. What is kelim? Like we now in sphere, we talk about the spheres every day. Kelim means the shape and form, the way the Eibishter expresses himself. Let's say, Kliya Chesed is kindness, Kliya Chochma is wisdom. So, concept of kindness, kindness is, when we say oil means the expression of Alikus, the oils. Oil means the expression of the Eibishter's power, infinite. Kindness, for example, all the other kelim, they have sort of an objective reality, objective value. There's something called kindness. And love kindness of the Eibush, that's kindness. It's a unique and clearly defined value, which is called kindness. So that's why it's the any double. So when you look at the kindness itself, it's not necessarily the Eibishter's kindness. And that's on one hand, but on the other hand, the poil says that's why it's called Enem Dveikim Im Koil, because that's one way of showing that it's not done in Koil. There's a concept of kindness, midas hachesed. It's not. So from that perspective, it has its own, so to speak, its own being, its own life. It's not sheni lepoil. What is chesed? It's not stam kindness. It's the Eibishter's kindness. That's why it's elikus. It's not kindness as an independent type of value. It's the Eibishter's kindness. That's why it's elikus. The question is asked: why take the creation has to be dafka from the oil, not to the kelim. Kelim also elikus. That's what he answers here.
So I'm sorry, but all along we are saying that the or kena more, and that's all our introduction that we are saying. So I don't know. It's saying that it's not chesed. The kelim is not the essence. I mean, we say it's not connected. And on one hand, I understand you're saying they're both ends, but so how can you say based on this introduction that the chesed can't be seen as separate being. This is contradiction to what we said all along.
I just explained that's in Ayos and Kalim. What it says on is not a place we learned. Ayos dog bimkaya, Kalim is not dog bimkaya. But you look at the Kali, not knowing what's really there. You look at the Kali, what is it? It's an objective, independent value, which is called Chesed, which is called Chacham. All right, so that's ain't a double bimkaya. When you look at the Chesed, you don't see. I don't know. You don't see anything, but I'm saying it's not likus. It doesn't express directly a likus. It expresses a value which is called kindness. So that's why Kalim. That's why we say oil is dog and Kalim. I don't know. When you say oil, what is oil? Oil means the expression of a likus. That's what oil is. There's nothing else to it. Kalim means there's an independent value called chesed, kindness. Happens to be that it's the Eibish's kindness. So that's why the two parts of it. On one hand, it's ain't a dvekas b'mkaya because you can think that they add its own value. That's why ain't a dvekas b'mkaya. Le'ider is lepoyel. It is whose chesed is it? Where did chesed come from? It's the Eibish's chesed. So lepoyel it is likus, but it's not dvekas. That's only that. It's one way to explain the difference between Eretz and Kalim.
But that's what I'm sorry. That's why I have difficulty saying it's independence. In other words, it's an attribute of Kodesh Baruch Hu, or the etzem. It's an attribute. I mean, so okay, it could be. You can say it's not me'ain or itself. It's not me'ain amor, if you want to say it differently. But as you said, it's coming from, it's emanated from the etzem, from the mole. You know, saying is this.
It comes from the etzem in such a way that it has its own. In other words, the oil has nothing to it other than expressing the mole. Kalim means there is a shape, there is a certain objective value. It's also where's the value come from? It's the Eibish's chesed, but chesed becomes its own like I said, its own objective, independent quality. But mainly, it's not double. It's not that dvekus is not there. That's why it's not any double b'mkoyah. When you look at chesed, it's a chesed. It's a great thing. Chesed. It's not. In other words, the fact that the Eibish's chesed, that's something which is not obvious. That's why it's ain't a double b'mkoyah, but it's a likus. I'm not clear what's Mamafria. What's bothering you here?
Like what the Paris said, like the Sephiros and all this is like a glass, stained glass that the more behind it is the same ore.
That's the oil. That's the oil, not the kalim. We're talking about the kalim. The kalim is the glass.
So okay, exactly. The kalim are the glass. So different shape or different color of the glass. But it's just the glass that makes it look different. But the main thing, as you were saying here, that is a me'en amor. It's exactly
like the oil, not the kalim. But that's the oil, not the kalim. There's oil and kalim, two different parts.
Where the keli comes from? How is the keli? Because we learned before that the keli is also the order that's a little more megusham, if I remember correctly.
Okay, now you bring in what it says there, the keli himself is Abbas and Asa keli. That's a different point. Okay, I bring it in, but it says that's a different topic. The keli himself is an expression of the oil.
Yeah.
Okay, that in other words, in the language I'm using here is in the end, what is like I said, what is taka the source of the kindness? It's really the Eibish's infinity. One of the ways is infinite power expresses itself is through kindness, but it's still when you look at the concept of kindness, it's its own. There's a concept of kindness unrelated, independent, like I said, an objective idea, which is called kindness. So mitzad that perspective, that's why we say the einam b'chinas dveikus b'mkayim. That's not a directly connected because it has its own shape. It has its own definition. That's what the keli is. Deep. That's what he says. Deeper. That's why it's a likus. When you dig deeper, you realize that even that is also a likus. But it's not sheni. It's not still not in a double keli. Okay, so this entire topic of keli, the different earth and keli, we can talk about it also. But here he just brings it the chag. We still have to understand what he's saying. Let's finish the sentence. What he said, Ika tamasher dafka mehave, hu k'meshekos, now, the ain't so, what was that Eibush himself is creating, is being comes from within himself. There's no cause and mover that preceded him, because he is who he is, the oil and soft, the more. Why is the more? Why is the able? How is it the able to have the ability to create something which is only academics? In other words, something which feels totally independent. The only reason the able can, the only not the only madrega in the likus that can create is the madrega she'en le'ila v'siba. He ein le'ila v'siba. Mainly, he has the power to create something she'en le'ila v'siba. That's a unique quality that's only in that madrega in the likus she'en le'ila v'siba. B'meile he says, "V'ha'oil fishut mein ha'moyish b'gam koyach ha'zeshubatz maslahavas." So the truth is, the text here is a little needs more explanation. Because omnam ikar tam, so it sounds like the two times. First, it said earlier, the oil dobagvats musam achashu dobagvatzes l'chein b'yicholte la'avis. Then he says the ikar tam mipnei shehu me'ein ha'moil. It sounds like two types. Two ikatam. What's the difference between the two of them? The first one says Vishum Dovuk, and the second is Vishum Me'ein Amor. These are really like very subtle differences. It's a subtle difference. So if you try to understand it, is the
Dovuk is a separate entity.
Dovuk is Dovuk could be, yeah, but what does Me'ein Amor? Me'ein Amor means, where do you see the Dovuk? It says, what you say, a separate entity, Likus Mamish. Dovuk Mamish, that's a Likus Mamish. You know, it sounds here that can be Dovuk, not Me'ein. So the two, there's something called Dovuk Mekayoi, but it's not Me'ein Mekayoi. It's like a connected, but his function is not only to express the more. You can say that this. It's like a dovuk.
What's an example for that? Sorry.
I don't know if I can bring an example to that, but I'm trying to understand myself what he's saying here. That there can be something that's dovuk, but in other words, its function is not to express the full power of the more. Okay, we can say that maybe. That we can say that you can say even when you get to the sun, theoretically, you can say that the light of the sun doesn't really express. It could say it's not constantly connected to the sun. That if the connection stops, it doesn't shine. But you can also say that it's not totally expressing the full power of the sun. It's expressing only some aspects of the sun. There's certain, let's say today, the way we view the yachas of the sun to the light, you can say theoretically that not everything about the sun is expressed in the light. A lot of things expressed, but some things in the sun stay in the sun; they don't reach us. We can say that theoretically, even though it's double. Ein Amorim is a deeper level. Ein Amorim means that the entire essence of the moil is directly expressed in the earth. So it's a
is dovok or
what?
oil shamesh is dovok or me'ain?
Lichaer it's both. Lichaer it's both. Lichaer there is Mein Amorim. He just said before. L'chein ha'omer ein Amorim neisha shemesh behira l'chein ha'omer. So I'm saying even the meaning of Me'ein Amor can be mean a few things. Me'ein Amor means it's like this moil. The moil is bright, that's why the oil is bright. If the moil will be blue, so the oil will be blue, right? So in that way, the oil expresses the moil. But again, so according to what we're learning here, the oil Shemesh is a mashlam bot, and Dovak B'moil and Me'ein Amor. In the Nimshal, we could at least theoretically think of an idea that something is Dovak in the moil, but the toil, doesn't express the full power of the moil. And let's say the Shemesh is Be'ila, but it doesn't mean that. Actually, it says in some places in Chassidus, it says that Mamish that Losh, there's some aspect of the Shemesh that are not expressed in the oil.
You know, an example.
Could you say that the oil is me'ein amoil? It's expressing everything oil is, but I don't think so.
L'maylo says yesh v'koyach zesh lahavos. That's what I'm saying. The koyach lahavos is a unique koyach that Atmos has that dveikus is not enough. Heinim also have dveikus. What are you saying?
But it's not reflecting the oil because the Eibuter besides the Havi, that's not what he is.
That's true too. You're right. But there is a certain there's a certain quality of atzmas that's expressed dafka in the oil, not in the kelim. That's what he's saying here.
I was thinking of another example that maybe B'derech Efshar,
Yeah.
if a true shaliach of the Rebbe, so he's Ke'en, but he's an independent Mesiut, but at the same time he's doing what the Rebbe wants. In other words, he's showing a part of the Mesiut of the Maor. We can think of. I'm not saying it exists or doesn't exist. I'm just saying in theory. We're not talking about the practice.
I understand the saying. Okay, but okay. Let's summarize this saying here. So he starts saying that so the first understanding is because the oil itself, because the oil is dovuk, makes him a likus, makes him part of likus. The mele, that's what I can create. But he says the ikaratam is more than that, not just because he's a likus, because he's connected to the etz, because he me'ein amor. It's not just okay. No, I can go more than that because so we see what says here that the tuma first of all now ma'achasher da'ogatz the kuz lachein becholter and ikaratam because it's me'ein amor. So actually, I was wrong. I said it's double because he said in the Chatzigel, "Kedim einam dveikus amalikus." So Dovuk, maybe Dovuk is connected to Meinamor, but Kelim are also likus, but because they're not double, they're not me'ina moil. The kelim themselves cannot create. So, yes, so there's a few expressions here that need more study. There's double bim kair, there's a likus, and there's me'ina moil. Each one of them, I think, is a different nuance. So going back to the Lashon of the Geras HaKodesh, מבחינת ערד האצילוס, ויוסף דור במקורו הרי מעבר דהאיחודים גם בו. The interesting thing is that it says על ידי הכלים, all the creation is through the kelim. But the creation comes directly from the oil. Because the oil is dovuk me'ein amor, because it's dovuk me'ein amor, that is why it has the ability to create yesh ma'ayin. B'chlolos, then it takes us to a different place. The language, it says, which oil are we talking about? B'chlolos, or kav animsham oil. So the kav, that oil that we're talking about.
התחילה סוער דאצילוס ליוסי דבוק במקורוי.
Yeah.
He's not saying that oil main oil.
Yeah, but I think that the dovuk, I already took back what I said before. Before I thought it's a difference in dovuk and main amoy, but the chayra, I'm reading again. It looks a different. It says ma'achas of them kus. It's not because it's dovuk, because it's a likus. Because that's why I said chotzi igor. Kenim gam ken a likus. They cannot be mahal. The question, yeah, dovuk and main amoy probably are interchangeable. But the question, it's a likus. In other words, kenim is also a likus, but it's a likus. It's that madrigan a likus which cannot create. Mashenken oil, because it's dovuk and main amoy. So the oil could create because the oil is me'ein amoy. The oil, the function of the oil is to express the etzem, the moil. That was the oil. That's why the oil has the ability to create yesh ma'ayin. There's a few loose ends here still. We'll try to go further. But maybe to figure it out. So that matrix of oil, that's called in other places the kav, the line, which is drawn from oil and sub. The tzimtzum. So the kav is nimshach la'achar tzimtzum. Idea tzimtzum. The konuk and negeya double by himself, which comes with time. The kav is negeya of a double. It's connected to the oil itself. Shalif ne'atzimtzum. So we got into a very long discussion, which is really the Rechag. He started talking about, he asked the question, right? He asked the question, why is the creation called Yesh Me'ayin? That was question number one. In order to answer the question, he brought in the Geras HaKodesh, the Adam's creation happened to the oil. Because the oil is double more and it's Me'ein Amor, that's why it has the ability to create Yesh Me'ayin. Now we'll understand why it's called Yesh Me'ayin. Because he asked the question, why is the Yesh Me'ayin? Everything's in the Eibishter. Why do we call it Ayin? At the same time, we said all the miles of the earth. Carries the ability to create create something from nothing. Same time, the concept of oil, which is like only a gila, an expression. It's only a what we call a radiance, a ray, an external expression. It's not the essence itself. Because it's only an expression, it lacks any significance from the Eibishter's perspective. And it's like it's nothing. So the oil, while it has all these high qualities, but from the Eibishter's perspective, in other words, from the perspective from Atzmus, ein mamish, nothing. It's nothingness. So that answers the question why we call the Bria Yesh Me'ayin, the Yesh Ha'Isav is Ein Mamish Gabe Atzmus. So think what happened here. He was trying to say the big mile of oil, how creation comes from oil, but in the end he says the opposite. Because creation is from oil, that's why it's called Me'ayin. Ayin means because from the Eibishter's perspective, this oil has all these unbelievable qualities. It's doubled, me'ain, mechulu, but it's still ayin. It's fleeting. It's insignificant. That's why the creation is called yesh me'ayin. Right now he adds another in the Chotzer Eagle. He has another way to explain why it's called yesh me'ayin, which. Part of it we're going to learn later. Hanukkah. Right now we're in Parashas Vayeshev. So in Ramah of Hanukkah we'll learn more. So the Chotzer Eagle he brings in the point. There's another explanation why creation is called Yesh Ma'ayin, something from nothing. Because there's another way he says to understand Ma'ayin. Ayin doesn't mean creating something from nothing, in the sense that nothing, non-existence. Nothing means Eine Musik. The world is created from a madrega which we cannot grasp. Eine Musik. Loi Ayin Mamish. It doesn't mean it's not there. Maimash Kosa B'Daka 20 Aleph Ayin Ches, and earlier in the first Maimash 20 spoke about that Yesh Ma'ayin means Eine Musik. So that's one pshat. Also, Nika Yesh Ma'amil Ma'amil Lamato, that's what it's saying. Amai was the pshat. So, okay, so we have, generally speaking, we have two explanations of why creation is called Yesh Ma'ayin. It's because Eine Musik. That's what it said, spoke about in the Ma'amil Feder B'Shalom Aleph. Sorry, Katantia Aleph. And then in our Maimon says a different point. Why is it? It's called Yesh Me'ayin because the oil which creates is insignificant compared b'yachas from the perspective of the mot of Atzmus. And he asked a very interesting question. But the question is, what do you mean? Yeah, you're creating an volume from the ayin. Why is it called ayin? Why is there so called ayin? Because it's lachshir. The nivo is also ayin. So why is it called yesh? Agam shani gam can ayin l'gabe atzmus. So from the Eibishter's perspective, it's not yesh ma'ayin, it's ayin ma'ayin. The oil is insignificant, and the yesh is also insignificant. So why is it called yesh ma'ayin? If you're talking from the Eibishter's perspective, why are we called yesh? We're not yesh. We are not ayin l'gabe atzmus. The Eibishter's perspective, we are insignificant also. So why is it called yesh ma'ayin? So he has a new layer. The Nika Yesh, Mishabazel Kavanas Atzmus. The reason it's called Yesh is way deeper and more solid reason. Because the Kavanas Atzmus, because the ultimate intent, what the Eibishter really wanted is to create us. That's why we call the Yesh, not because we feel independent or something. Because the fact that we feel independent means nothing. Because from the Eibishter's perspective, we are nothing. No, so why we call the yesh? There's a kavanas atzmus. This is the ultimate purpose, like it says in Tanya Perik Lamed Vav.
That's what we're saying because we feel independent.
Exactly. But that's feeling independent makes only sense in Milmata. But in Milmata, either in Sof. It's called ayin. So we should definitely be called ayin, because from the Eibishter's perspective, we are nothing. We are insignificant. So why are we called yesh? So he says a new understanding. It says in the Maimar Mitzvah Mishatishka later in the Chanukah. Nika yesh v'neshabazel kavanas atzmus. Yesh means this is the ultimate. That's what the Eibishter meant. That's why it's called yesh. So that's another the Haga. I'm a shkotz v'dam Mitzvah Mishatishka im ches. That way of understanding what yesh ma'ayin is. All this is interesting. That's all the Haga. So we stop. Okay, so we finish one point here that the Bria is called Yesh Me'ayin. That why is it called Yesh Me'ayin? There's Ayin Aliki, which is the oil. Oil is Aura Ba'alma. It's only an external ray of expression of the Eberster. That's why creation is Me'ayin. No, but there's another layer. They tell mitzvah shnit and Hashem is so. But in addition to the fact that it's Bria Yesh Me'ayin, Bria is creation. They created the world. But what did he do in this world? He gave us Torah mitzvahs. See, what does it say in Torah mitzvahs? That the Dvorim Ha'ir, Torah mitzvahs, says the pasuk in Krishma, Anoichi mitzvah. What does Anoichi mean? It says, see this? Because Anoichi Misha Anoichi. The word Anoichi signifies the etzem. Who I am, who I am. Anoichi Misha Anoichi. Like, I mean, like I said, the source of that expression is stuck in Yaakov and Yitzchak. It says, Anoichi Esav Cherecha. Ash says, Anoichi Misha Anoichi. Esav Cherecha. Stam, that's the source of the expression. But it's similar to the way it says, I am or I am really am, not just my expression. I am my essence. So Nechem Shanoichi, the expression of Nechem Shanoichi signifies the etzem itself. So it says, Vayet Dvarim Ela Shanoichem Tzaf Hayim, Shadei Torah Mitzvah, Hashem is Atzin Sof. Torah Mitzvah is not, the Bria is Me'ayin. The creation is from the Madrig of Ayin, which is the Oirin Sof. Hashem, the Torah Mitzvah is a higher Madrig than Ayin. It's Anoich. The Torah Mitzvah, B'chinas, Atzim Sein Sof, which causes another remes to that point, that creation is from the Ayin.
So what does it mean? What does it mean, Mamshichim? You see it, you feel it more here than in Elam Atzilus?
We don't feel it. We draw, it's there. What does it mean it's there? That says that we're going to feel it logically. Right now we have it here. We capture Atzilus itself. I don't think feel.
No, not feeling. There is some effect.
There isn't what the effect. We connect to the essence of the Eibush. We have the essence with us. It's like saying, it's like Lashon Tani, Machabek Samelach Be'atzmi. That's the Lashon. You have the king himself with you. It's not just the Gilui, but the Etzem of the Eibush.
Maybe even though we don't feel it, but it gives us a different keches.
It's possible, yeah. It doesn't say it right here, but maybe that's maybe it gives us certain keches. Okay, another remes, which goes of Eidel Eretz Shemoy v'Yom Keren La'am. So what does it mean? Eidel Eretz Shemoy plus Eid V'Zibel Vat. Eretz Shemoy, the creation. Beishas Baruchim Shemoy B'Sa'oretz. It's Eid V'Zibel Vat. It's Ayin. Yom Keren La'am. The Shemoy Sa'oretz means it's Nimshach Finas Keren. It's Amshacha Atzmis. I said the word Keren in Chassidus has a lot of pirushim, but one of them is Keren Miloshin in the world of money, Keren wherever. There's the principle and the gain and the interest. Keren is the principle, the essence. So the word Keren means Keren La'amed. We even get the Keren, which is the etzem. So, okay, so in that way, this pasuk is also a remez and lives in Bria Yesh Me'ayin and Torah mitzvahs. Yeah, the creation of Eretz Hashemayim is Eidei. It's only Eidei V'Zivai, which is the Ayin. Mashenkin la'amoy, the Neshama Yisrael get the Keren, which is Amshacha Atzis. Okay.
Shkoyach.